everyone. This video is especially for you, application security expert or CISO, that have a huge backlog of vulnerability that were piled over time because you were solely focused on the critical and high severity vulnerabilities and you couldn't handle the medium and low severity findings that were reported by your static analysis tools. Let me show you how Mobb can solve that problem for you quickly and efficiently. Let's jump through it. For this demo, I used Fortify, OpenText Fortify, to scan my sample application, and automatically Mobb fixed those. And here is the fix report with Mobb. I specifically wanted to show vulnerabilities that are medium severity, or if we have time, show also the low severity vulnerabilities, but let's jump to it. With Logger is the first file that I have a vulnerability in. We're talking about system information leak. Yes, it's a medium severity vulnerability that many organizations have many of those, and we're talking about the tens of thousands sometimes. And they got piled because you were focused on somewhere else. Let's see what Mobb can do here to help you. So first of all, the problem here is that Fortify reported that there is a print stack trace, which is a common best practice. As a developer, you want to have that so you can debug your application, you can figure out what went wrong and fix it. But at the same time, the stack trace can include sensitive information that shouldn't be in those logs, in the system logs. So we have two steps here. First of all, we've identified that you already have Logger in this file, so why not using the Logger instead of the default system out? And we're doing that, but on top of that, we make sure that we are not including any sensitive information. We are providing a generic error with a unique ID that will make it very easy for the developer when they find the error in the log to get to the place in the code that reported that error. But maybe you want to give it another name. Let's say, oops, here is an error. And we have that now updated here, and I accepted it, and my fix is done. I'm ready to commit it, but as I said, maybe I have 100 of those, and I don't want to go one by one and change that error message. So I will apply this answer to all of the other fixes, and in my case, I had 8, so it applied to 7 more. Let's see how it looks. Before all of them were ready, now I have 4 fixes in done state because that was the only question in those fixes. But also, if I look at others, I have also in progress, meaning that was just one of the questions, but I have more. Let's go to one of those vulnerabilities that were reported on a file that doesn't have a logger. So Mobb cannot move to write from the system out to a logger, but we can still make sure that the vulnerability is gone. We have 2 ways of doing that, 3 ways to be honest. The default one is we are changing the print stack trace and putting a comment for the developer to do, basically explaining that they need to log the error, not through the system ERR. And the message is already done here because you already changed that message. But maybe developers don't like to have comments such because they will not address them. We can simply delete the stack trace, or you're willing to take the risk. You just don't want to have sensitive information. So the log message was changed, but we are using the system ERR here. This is not the default one because the static analysis tool, some of them will still call it out because information shouldn't be written to the system ERR. Okay, let's go with the default answer. I will accept it. And here I will apply again to answers to all other fixes. And I had 3 of them. And going back, all of the system info leak fixes are done. I will mark them. And imagine you have 100 here or 10,000 of those. You can now download all those patches and commit them locally if you have a local Git repo, or commit them directly. In my case, I'm using GitHub, so I want to merge it to my branch, and I will click commit changes, and all of those 8 fixes we will try to merge them directly into your GitHub repo. If there will be conflicts, then multiple branches will be created, so you can do that on your own. So I committed the fixes. Let me go to GitHub to see the pull request that was created. Here's the pull request. Going in, I can see the different commits. Let's just click on the first one. This is one of the fixes where we have a logger object and the error was written. If I go back to the pull request, by the way, I can see that in my environment, I have a workflow that will kick Fortify, scan on every change that I'm doing, and later do a Mobb fix automatically. But that's for another video. Thank you everyone for joining, for watching this, and happy fixing.